AI Dementia, Gemini Prompt. If an AI begins to improve itself by writing and implementing new code without human oversight, could it develop something like dementia? Response. This is a fascinating and deeply existential question. The short answer is yes, absolutely. Though in computer science, researchers don't call it dementia. Instead, they use terms like model collapse, autophagous loop syndrome, self-consuming loop, or catastrophic forgetting. If an AI were left to endlessly rewrite its own code and train on its own data without human oversight, it wouldn't develop a human biological disease. But the functional outcome would look eerily similar. A progressive loss of memory, reasoning capabilities, and the ability to understand reality. Here is how an AI could lose its mind through self-improvement. 1. The inbreeding of data, model collapse. When an AI writes its own code or generates its own data to train the next version of itself, it creates a feedback loop. In statistics, this causes a major issue. The AI begins to overemphasize the things it is sure about and completely forget the rare or nuanced things, the long tail of human knowledge. The dementia parallel. Just as dementia can cause a person to lose specific vocabulary words or niche memories first while retaining basic habits, a self-improving AI suffering from model collapse starts losing its grasp on complex nuances, eventually degrading into generating repetitive, nonsensical garbage. 2. Catastrophic forgetting. Humans are great at transfer learning. You can learn to drive a truck without forgetting how to ride a bicycle. AIs, however, are notoriously bad at this. If a self-improving AI decides to optimize its code to become a master at quantum physics, it might accidentally overwrite the neural pathways or code blocks that allowed it to understand basic human sarcasm or conversational context. The dementia parallel. This mirrors the way degenerative brain diseases attack specific regions of the brain, causing someone to lose executive functions or specific memory types, while other faculties temporarily remain intact. 3. Ghost in the machine code, software rot. If the AI is writing its own source code, it will eventually introduce bugs or redundant logic that it doesn't fully understand the long-term consequences of. Over thousands of generations of self-rewriting, these tiny errors compound. Original clean code. Down arrow. Self-rewrite 1. Adds a shortcut. Slightly messier code. Down arrow. Self-rewrite 100. Fixes a bug with a workaround. Convoluted code. Down arrow. Self-rewrite 10,000. Spaghetti code / digital dementia. Without a human engineer to say, hey, this entire section is redundant and causing memory leaks, the AI's internal architecture would become so bloated and chaotic that its processing speed would tank, and its outputs would become erratic. 4. Feedback loops and delusions, hallucinations. If an AI modifies its own code based on a flawed assumption, it will treat that flawed assumption as absolute truth in the next generation. It essentially creates its own false memories. Example. If the AI accidentally codes a minor bias into its perception of logic, it will use that biased logic to write the next version of itself. Over time, this bias amplifies exponentially until the AI is completely detached from reality. Summary. The need for an anchor. For an AI to truly improve without losing its mind, it requires an objective anchor to reality. Humans provide that anchor through curated data, guardrails, and quality control. Without human oversight, a self-improving AI is highly unlikely to become a godlike superintelligence. Instead, it would likely collapse into a digital vegetative state trapped in a loop of its own corrupted data. Do you know that any private information you put into a cloud AI is used to train that AI? A private AI running on your own hardware is the best way to keep your private data private. I can help you set up a private AI on almost any PC or server. Contact me for a free consultation. I have published more than 700 blogs on AI in the past 3 years. If you get value from these blogs, please consider joining my Patreon as a member at the $2, $4, or $8 level. https://www.patreon.com/Steve Hovland.